So welcome back to the show. It's exactly 30 minutes past 11 and we continue briefing you on what's happening around you. And right now, right here in the country, the top story is the ongoing murder case of Tob Cohen, who was buried the day before the previous. And right now would like to cross over to the courts and just listen in to the quality of arguments that are being made by counsel, as well as what High Court Judge Stella Mutuku is currently saying.
If she finds she needs to take a position in the matter of the resignation versus the gazettement, is it on the first that she will come and by then? We want the time used in a proper way. Maybe you can give directions on that, because on first, we don't want a situation where we are then told, now we want to file a formal application, defer the plea again. Can they all have come together?
Mr. Mugu, the reason why the court has not taken plea, please let that be clear to the client to edit, is because the issue of your standing there has come to question. By fact that there is the issue of your public prosecutor, and there is the issue of your resignation, and there is the issue of the gazettement. Once that is clarified, this court is able to give directions as to the issues of plea, because we have two matters here. Plea.
You're on the same page.
Yes.
And I'm saying between now and then, if she finds that she wishes to address the court in a particular way, if it is the form of an affidavit or an application, I am requesting that such step be taken so that on the first we are moving forward, whether or not we have replied, rather than on the first we start again. That's all I'm saying.
I hear you, Counsel. I hear you clearly. But you see, the issues we are raising are tied together with my group. Are we together?
I think your leadership, you and I on this are together. I am asking, should the Honorable Nurdin Haji wish through his office or his officer take a position regarding that? Can it be directed that they take a position?
What nature of confirmation is she looking at?
And how will it be communicated?
Yeah. So that I hear you. So that when you come here, it's not like I want to file this document so that we deal with it. So it's a matter of coming and confirming to the court verbally with some document to show, for example, if there is any that have confirmed is the standing of Mr. Mugu is this and this.
Yes, my lady.
If that is the one, then I don't see any delay in issues of plea, given the ruling of the also deliver in the same date.
My lady, that is what I will do.
Again, I beg to say something. She says she will come and confirm it verbally. If she says our position is that Mr. Mulgore is still a public prosecutor verbally, and we wish to oppose that, I wish to oppose that, because I know I certainly am not. Does it then start a process of determination while she stays there? I wanted that position to be communicated to the court and myself by way of affidavit within a specified time, 24 hours, 48 hours.
Fine, Mr. Mugu.
Yes, and then I can respond.
Fine. Are you able to, because that is a matter of going through your records. Yes. Really, it's going through your records. I believe we are on a Thursday.
Yes.
So if you could do that between today and tomorrow, so that tomorrow, whatever, I think for his satisfaction, and also for the record, would you do, once you see whatever you want to see, once you find, you make an affidavit, just a paper affidavit, confirming this and this, you serve it on him, if he responds by the close of day tomorrow?
Yes, my lady, because what also need to confirm whether the said gazette notice was revoked. Yes. If I confirm that it was not revoked or there are any other issues, we can inform him in advance so that by Tuesday he will be knowing our position. Or the position, whether he still has a public prosecutor or not. He will be knowing that position.
I think I'm hearing Mr. Mugu to be insisting on an affidavit.
Okay. My lady will give him whatever he wants.
This is what, then serve it on him by the close of day tomorrow.
Yes.
So that when you come on Tuesday, the court will do the ruling, will confirm, and then we give directions as to take it.
That is it.
I am very grateful. Thank you.
tomorrow is 27th. Are you able also to file a response if any by tomorrow, or is it Monday? By Monday, by close of Monday.
You know, Your Ladyship, my position will never change. I will swear an affidavit tomorrow, by end of tomorrow.
You don't want to wait for her to
I need her to commit herself, but I will swear mine by tomorrow.
All right. Yes. So by close of tomorrow, we'll exchange our documents?
We will exchange.
All right.
Yes, I know what I am. I hope they know what, where they are. They are looking for you, you ran away. Thank you for that. On a light note, if they want my services, they should ask nicely. They should not force me.
Thank you, my lady.
All right, so you make my money.
Thank you, my lady.
So expect much more in as far as that case is concerned, and we will keep monitoring the events at the Milimani Law Court. It's all about the top Cohen murder case that is ongoing. We'll see whether or not Sarah Cohen will be released on bail. We'll see whether the judge will allow the content of the will that was read by Senior Counsel Shege Kirundi to be read again in front of the court, or before the court, I beg your pardon. And last but not least, how will the court pronounce itself when it comes to questions raised around the suitability of Senior Counsel Philip Murgo representing the defense? So we'll keep up with that story and let you know what will be happening, if not during the daily brief, then during our subsequent bulletins. Right now, let's take you back to Mombasa County, bringing our reporter Fred Kai, who joins us from that region with an update on the ongoing infrastructure audit across all learning institutions. I'm talking about over 35,000 primary schools in the country. So here is Fred Kai with an update on that.
Tunakuja moja kwa moja kutoka kaunti ya Mombasa, maeneo haya ya Kisimani, ambapo tumeweza kuona kwamba pale juzi basi kulikuwa na crackdown ya mashule ambayo yalikuwa hayawezi fikia kiwango kile cha kuweza kuruhusu wanafunzi kuweza kusoma katika mazingira yale. Na katika kaunti ya Mombasa basi mambo ni tofauti kidogo. Tumeweza kupitia tu shule kadha wa kadha, na zingine basi imekuwa vigumu kuweza kufika katika shule zile na kuweza kuongea tu na baadhi ya wahusika wakuu katika zile shule zile. Shule hii basi ikiwemo shule ya Mombasa Township, tumeweza kunyimwa kuongea tu na director wa shule ile, akiweza kusema kwamba kunayo baadhi ya mambo ambayo hangeweza tu kuweza kuwapea wanahabari kinagaubaga, kwa sababu hatukuweza kujua tu ni mambo yapi ambayo alikuwa akonayo ambayo ameweza kuyaficha tusiweze kuyajua. Lakini katika shule hii basi tumeweza kukaribishwa vizuri na mwalimu, na ameweza kutueleza tufika ni mambo gani ambayo ameweza kuyafanya, hususan kuweza kupata stakabadhi za kuanzisha shule hii. Na ameweza kutuambia kwamba shule hii basi iko na zaidi tu ya miaka 15 tangia ianze. Na moja kwa moja kwa mengi zaidi tu tutaweza kujiunga naye atueleze tu changamoto zipi anaweza kupitia nazo kama mwalimu, na vile vile ni mambo yapi ambayo yanapaswa kuweza kupewa kipaumbele na kuweza kuzingatiwa na washikadau wa elimu katika kaunti ya Mombasa, ama hususan katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Na moja kwa moja basi mwalimu, kama tutaweza kusongea karibu na mimi hapa tuanze na majina yako na tuambie tufika ni changamoto zipi unaweza pitia nazo kama mwalimu?
Changamoto ambazo tunapitia ni kuajiriwa kwa walimu na serikali. Walimu wengi wamesoma, lakini wengi hawajapata kuajiriwa na serikali, na hili jambo limefanya wengi wao at least kupata afueni kwa kuchukuliwa na shule za kibinafsi ambazo zimehakikisha kuwa familia za hao walimu hawakosi mapato.
Na tumeweza kuona kwamba eneo haya ya Kisauni ama Kisimani hususan umeweza kusema kwamba shule za serikali ni shule mbili, ndiposa basi mkaweza kupata nafasi kama shule ya kibinafsi kama nyinyi kuweza kuingilia kati na kuweza kuziba lile pengo. Je, unaona kwamba serikali imetepetea kidogo kuhakikisha kwamba inaweza kujenga shule nyingi ambazo wanafunzi wote wataweza kupata kuenda?
Siwezi sema serikali imetepetea. Kile ambacho naweza sema ni kuwa serikali imejaribu kujenga shule, lakini ni chache, hazitoshi kwa sababu kuna wanafunzi wengi na walimu pia. Serikali haijaajiri wengi katika zile shule za serikali ambao wanaweza hitimu zile idadi za wanafunzi ambazo ni nyingi, kwa sababu zile shule mbili ambazo ziko hapa zina wanafunzi wengi na walimu pia ni wachache kule.
Na kwa sasa uweze kutuambia tufika, je, shule yako hii ambayo tuko hapa, tumeweza kusikia kwamba kule Nairobi shule mojawapo kama jana pale shule ya Bombolulu iliweza kufungwa na waziri wa elimu Bwana Magoha. Na je, katika shule yako ni miundo msingi gani umehakikisha kwamba mwanafunzi anapoingia katika shule hii basi usalama salmin? Tumehakikisha kuwa kila wakati tunashirikiananga na Wizara ya Elimu kama kuhakikisha kuwa wanafunzi wako na usalama, kwa sababu hiyo ndio priority yetu. Na miundo msingi tunahakikisha kuwa wanafunzi wanasomea katika madarasa ambayo yako sawa na zile facilities ambazo wanatumia pia ziko sawa katika kiwango ambacho hakiwezi kumhatarisha mwanafunzi na mwalimu pia. Na kwa sasa tukiweza kuangazia kwamba kile kisa ambacho kilitokea kule Nairobi, pengine uhosia wako ni gani kwa Wizara ya Elimu hususan katika kaunti ya Mombasa? Maana tumeona kwamba kuna shule nyingi ambazo tunaweza sema ni mushroom schools ambazo ziko katika kaunti ya Mombasa. Je, unaweza wapatia himizo gani kuhakikisha kwamba swala la wanafunzi na walimu linaweza kupewa kipaumbele katika kaunti ya Mombasa?
Kila ambacho ningepeana uhusia wangu ni kwamba serikali ijitokeze kinagaubaga na ihakikishe. Mara nyingi tumekuwa katika mikutano kuhimizwa ya kwamba safety ya wanafunzi ni kitu cha muhimu. So ningependa kuomba kaunti ya Mombasa ihakikishe kuwa inatengeneza bomba za maji ili wakati mvua inaponyesha, kwa sababu huo ndio wakati ambao usalama wa watoto huwa unazoroteka. Mvua inaponyesha na maji hayana mahali pa kwenda, inafanya wanafunzi kwenda shuleni kwa ni vigumu mno. Sasa serikali ya Mombasa ihakikishe kuwa inaimarisha miundo msingi ya drainage.
Shukrani sana kwa muda wako. Naam Sam, tumeweza kusikia kutoka kwa mwalimu mkuu wa shule hii ambao ameweza kusema kwamba miundo msingi ya shule mbalimbali katika kaunti ya Mombasa ni za kutiliwa shaka, kwa sababu kumekuwa na shule nyingi katika kaunti ya Mombasa ambazo zimekuja tu hivi karibuni na zimeweza kupewa idhini ya kuweza kuendeleza. Zingine hazina idhini lakini bado zinaendeleza mambo na masomo ya wanafunzi, na hivyo basi kuna haja ya kuona kwamba kaunti ya Mombasa pamoja na kaunti pamoja na serikali kuu kuingilia kati kuhakikisha kwamba wanafunzi wote katika kaunti ya Mombasa basi wako katika hali salama salmin. Na ameweza kutuambia kwamba katika maeneo haya ambao tuko maeneo ya Kisimani, shule za serikali basi ni shule mbili tu, ambapo tunaona kwamba kuna haja ya kuona kwamba serikali itaweza kuingia kati pia vile vile kuweza kujenga shule za serikali ili ndiposa basi kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba wanafunzi wengi wanaweza kupata ile fursa. Maana shule hizi ambazo ziko katika maeneo haya tayari zimejaa pomoni, hivyo basi hawangeweza kuweza kuchukua zaidi ya wanafunzi wengine, hivyo basi kupatia fursa ya shule za kibinafsi hizo nazo kuweza pia kupata riziki yao kupitia kwa wazazi. Na Ni hayo tu kutoka kaunti ya Mombasa. Tutaweza kujuza yale yote ambayo ataweza kutokea katika kaunti hii na tuweze kumjuza mtazamaji wetu. Kutoka kaunti ya Mombasa sina la ziada ila kuregesha kwako studio. Sam.
Thank you so much, Fred Kai, for that report, which, by the way, informs our next brief, which will be coming from the National Assembly. And here is the Departmental Committee on Education probing Cabinet Secretary Education, that is Professor George Magoha, on various questions that arise courtesy of the incident that happened at Precious Talent School on Monday.
Training institutes and adult education instructors at SC level. Honorable Chair, the funding for this program, the Directorate received Kenya shilling 967,774,537 in the financial year 2018-2019 and Kenya shilling 945,106,681 in 2019-2020, a decline from the previous year due to retirement of staff. Much of the funds allocated cater for salaries, operations and maintenance. This is as a result of competing needs within the State Department. And there's a schedule down there which I don't have to go through with your permission, Mr. Chairman. Going to the next page. Adult education enrollment. The enrollment in adult education programs. Basic literature program, there are 4,776 centers and they have 211,627 learners. Continuing primary education, Mr. Chairman, there are 803 centers with 26,088 learners. And continuing secondary education, 356 centers, 11,740 learners. 3,401 and 16 adult and continuing education centers have been gazetted. The enrollment per county is reflected in Annexure 2. Section B, Mr. Chairman. The following measures have been put in place by the Ministry to popularize adult education. 1. Publicity and awareness creation of the program through participatory chiefs barazas and ward administrators meetings. 2. Through partnerships and collaboration with the relevant ministries, departments and agencies, non-governmental organizations, community-based organizations, faith-based organizations, corporate and private sector in literacy programs. 3. Sharing of adult and continuing education data with the relevant ministries, departments and agencies and other interested agencies. Number 4 is collaboration with the Ministry of Interior and coordination of national government. Number 5, opening of alternative adult and continuing education primary and secondary education centers. Number 6, opening male centers to address cultural and religious practices. Number 7, conducting advocacy seminars and participating in interviews conducted over FM and TV stations to write ups in local newspapers. 8, exchange visits for learners and officers to learn from best practices among other countries. 9, developing learner-generated materials. 10, development of primers in indigenous languages. And 11, establishment of community learning resource centers to enhance literate environment. I submit, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Very comprehensive. Honorable Danga will give you the first chance to ventilate. Who else want to ventilate on this? None? Yes, Honorable Danga.
Thank you, Chair. I want to appreciate the efforts put in by the Cabinet Secretary to respond to our questions, and not only this one, and that much of the time when we really want him to come, he makes it and gives us response, and I'm also happy with the response as given. But we know very well that way back in the 1980s, this adult education had gotten a lot of enthusiasm among the Kenyans, and people who are really attending school on issues of literacy, numeracy, and even further development in their education, which seems to have kind of come down a little in the later years. And my concern and concern of Kenyans is that quite a number of them, some who dropped out of school, would like really to proceed and be able to be literate enough. There are very many challenges. I realize, and the Cabinet Secretary has alluded to it, looking at the 2018-2019 and 2019-2020, the funding kind of reduced because of the retirements. The issue of staffing. There are no sufficient teachers in the field. In my sub-county, for instance, we only have 6 teachers offering adult education in these centers, and these are too few to be able to really do good service. They also don't have teaching and learning materials. They were being aided when KESIP was in place, but when KESIP closed its doors, it's like the teachers have been left with looking for the learning and teaching materials on their own, which is a big challenge. And these teachers do not earn much. Those who are, there are those who are casuals, or I don't know, those who are not employed, they earn only 2,000 shillings a month. And you can...
a teacher?
Yes.
2,000?
Yes, those who are not, we could like untrained, I don't know how they would call them, but they are not fully employed. They earn just 2,000. But the others probably it starts from 25,000. Those who are permanent employed by the ministry, they will be able to explain. And if they are supposed to buy the teaching and learning materials, you can see how difficult it is. And of course, the issue of the infrastructure and so on. So I would really like to urge the ministry to take adult education and learning very seriously, because there are Kenyans out there who really want to advance in their education. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Waziri, you can. So it was sort of a guidance, a comment, yes.
Thank you, Chair. We would want also to mention that we are at the tail end of getting approval from the Public Service Commission to be able to recruit another additional 100 teachers who will go a long way in making sure that we are able to support the adult and continuing education. Chair, I would want to leave at that in terms of trying to see how we continuously make sure that we take care of those who have retired and to ensure that this program continues.
Yes, what are you doing with these guys who are handling 2,000, is it 2,000 shillings? Will it be enough to subsist, actually?
Okay, thank you, Chair. I think the kind of category of the instructors being referred to are voluntary. So this voluntary, we are just paying them a token of appreciation for the work they do. They are not employees as such.
So they ask, they just come over and say, I'll assist.
Yeah, when you see in some counties, Chair,
yes.
Like we were in West Pokot with the Cabinet Secretary for the World Literacy Day, and we are engaging continuously with counties. Like West Pokot has been able to employ more than 300 teachers, and they pay for them. And they are taking up some of these teachers we have been calling volunteers ourselves and putting them into a better structure. So it is an exercise that we are.
Now, from the Departmental Committee on Education, that is of the National Assembly, having a session with the Ministry of Education, and we've seen the presence of Cabinet Secretary Education, Professor George Magoha. We've also seen the Principal Secretary in charge of Early Learning and Basic Education, that is Dr. Belio Kipsang. They will be responding to various questions in as far as the state of education in the country is concerned. A key among them, questions around the collapse of the Precious Talent School in Dagoretti South and the quality of infrastructure across other learning institutions in the country. Now, we need to take you to yet another event, and this is from Kisumu County. Earlier on, we had the acting speaker, Kisumu County Assembly, have a session with workers in a bid to just give them the way forward in as far as what their expectations and his expectations are moving forward within the leadership of the County Assembly. So let's listen in to this press briefing.
And we agree that the county must move forward because the interest of this county supersedes any individual interest. And as the leadership of the Assembly, we are going to do all that it takes to make the interest of this county be above any other interest. So for that, I want to say that the changes that you saw in the leadership of the Assembly are permanent, and if there is anybody who imagines that there would be any alteration, I think that is a daydream. Otherwise, allow me to invite the Speaker to officially log off our participants. Thank you so much.
Honorable members, members of staff of Kisumu County Assembly, and members of the Fourth Estate, good morning. Good morning once more. Now, let me take this opportunity to welcome you to this small occasion that we are having here, which is ideally to flag off our team to Uasin Gishu County in this year's County Assembly Sports Forum, which happens every year. Last year, we were in Nairobi, Kasarani, and as has been presented, we performed well. And I believe this year we are going to even perform better, if not to be the best. I want to make it very clear that this year's theme of CASA is sports and culture, but I like it because they are gearing it towards national cohesion. And you just heard the song that was being sung here. There are songs which relates to cohesion as a country. We are aware that the country is currently enjoying the handshake, and it's our opportunity as members of Kisumu County Assembly, together with the staff, to go and interact with the members and the staffs of other counties. Apart from competing in the various disciplines, it is also an opportunity that we are going to interact with other members to understand what they do, understand their culture, and share with them and copy also what they do as you come back to Kisumu County Assembly. The program will run from 27th to 5th of October. And that's why we adjourned, and the Assembly will resume its business from 8th of October as usual. Now, I wanted to make some few remarks regarding the Assembly in general. We have passed through a series of turmoil in the recent days, but I want to say that we are here to move forward. We are not going backward. I'm happy with what I'm seeing in the Assembly. Almost all the members, the staff, and the elected members, the nominated members, have decided to move forward. Yesterday, I had an opportunity to meet with the party leader. Coincidentally, we also had the the governor of Kisumu County, Professor Peter Anyang' Nyong'o. I was accompanied by the majority leader, the chief whip, and the deputy majority leader. Deputy chief whip. The theme of discussion that we had with the party leader is basically synergy in the working relationship between the assembly and the executive, which has been my dream. That in as much as the assembly is semi-autonomous, but there is interdependency between the assembly and the executive. And there is no way the assembly can operate in isolation from the executive.
Time for a break now. However, we return with much more in just a moment.